Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback both online and with my local customer base concerning the new style of entryway bench that I've been building. I've gone to a trestle style base with the slats. People really seem to enjoy it, so I plan on building another one. And I thought it'd be a good chance to bring you along, give you the dimensions, how I put it together. Once you get the basics down, you can alter them and make some end tables, console table, or even a little dinette table like I did here. Fit a couple of bar stools around that. I am working on some woodworking plans for the bench, so they'll be in the description below the link once it's ready, if it's not there already. But other than that, let's get building this thing. I'll show you what we're going to need. Here are the pieces I'm going to use to build this 40 by 15 by 20 inch high bench. I'm using 2x4, 2x6, and 1x material. There are 4 legs, 2 end bases, 4 end aprons, 8 slats. I cut a 45-degree bevel off of each end of the slat with my miter saw, leaving about 1/4 inch of the bottom straight, as you can see here. Now the legs and end bases, end aprons, and slats are all 3.5 inches wide. The bases and aprons measurements are long point to long point. Continuing on, there are 4 feet, 4 boards for the cross ends, 3 top boards, 2 upper stretchers, and 2 lower stretchers. Now the lower stretchers are 2.25 inches wide. I measure in 1.5 inch, mark it, and rip a 45-degree cut off that mark. That gives me a nice angle to tie in with the 45-degree base as well as how the slats look with it. As I start putting this together, I want to tell you there are dozens of ways to build furniture. Now I'm not here to tell you this is how you should do it, only how I am currently doing it. I say currently because I've changed how I do things since I started, and I imagine I'll continue to develop and change in the future. I start by building the 2 ends. For the ends, I begin by gluing and screwing the upper and lower end aprons to the legs. I pre-drill and then use 2 2.5 inch screws on each leg end, verifying that it is square as I go. Next, I glue and screw the base apron to the bottom, making sure the 45-degree angles line up with the end apron above it. I use 3 2.5 inch screws on this end base. Here's how it should look. Now on to the other end. With both ends finished, it's time to tie them together with the top and bottom stretchers. All 4 stretchers will have pocket holes on each end. I have the ends upside down and am working on attaching the top stretchers. I position the pocket holes face down so that once the top of the bench is attached, the pocket holes will be hidden. I square everything up and then secure with clamps and flip the bench over to drill the screws in. Now it's time to attach the bottom stretchers. I use the feet to place the stretchers on, as this will ensure the proper height to where the slats will align with the end apron. Once I'm satisfied everything is positioned correctly, I flip the bench over and drive in more pocket hole screws. Then do a final check with the slats. Now I move on to building the X braces. I have a complete video guide on how to take boards like these and turn them into perfect fitting cross ends like these. I'll tell you where you can find that video here in a minute. Now, I know it can seem daunting. It was to me when I first started, but it really isn't hard to get a perfect fit every time. For the top, I just do a basic pocket hole layout. I may try using my biscuit joiner on this task in the future, but for now I was in a hurry and this is very familiar to me right now. I give it a good sanding with 220 grit and it's ready for stain. Here's how it looks with all the pieces in place. Now they're not connected because I like to paint or stain everything separate and then install them. For the slats, I rip a spacer stick. In this case, it's 3/8 of an inch in width. That helps me get the slats lined up evenly. For the X-bracing, I am currently gluing each end as well as pre-drilling a hole for a 2.5 inch screw on the tops and a 3 1/4 inch screw on the bottom ends. To attach the top on this bench, I ripped a slot along the top stretchers so I can use Z-clips. I have a video for that I'll put a card above. I also have in the past used 2.5 inch screws through the top stretcher into the top. I glue and use either 1.5 inch 16 gauge nails or 1 1/4 inch 18 gauge nails for the slats. When it's time to attach the feet, I use glue and brad nails, put one in each corner, so later on when I put the felt pads on, they'll cover up the nails. Alright guys, I want you to watch the video below, the ultimate guide to building X braces, in case you're a little shaky on that. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. There's no excuse for you not to build this thing. I'll catch you on the next video.